Finding the best apple fritter recipe has not been easy. Sometimes the batter's too thin or it's too thick and then that doesn't cook through all the way. Well, it turns out that the best apple fritter recipe is also the easiest. And I can't possibly keep that to myself. So here's your ingredient list. So this recipe happens fast. The first thing you're gonna do is peel and chop your apple. We're going for roughly 1/2-inch chunks. One medium apple will do the trick. It's about 1.5 cups, 1.25 cups of apple pieces. Here's the serious time saver. Complete pancake mix. Any complete pancake mix will do. I was looking for apple fritter recipes and I realized that, you know, these ingredients are really, really close to pancake mix. So sure enough, it works like a charm. Could you make your own pancake mix? Sure, you could do that, but this ratio is already good. So instead of doing all the measuring, all the leavening agents and the flavor, this and that, it's already in here. So you could just take a scoop and mix it with apples. Let me show you. This mix is mostly flour, salt, leavening agent, like baking soda, baking powder, and then some flavorings. Maybe there's a little bit of dried powdered egg yolk in here too, depending on your box mix, but it's pre-measured and it's simple. Then we just need to add some cinnamon because apples love cinnamon. Just toss in the apple now and stir to coat with the dry mixture. Once your apples look like this, stop everything. Don't add the water yet. Once the water is added, the leavening agent is going to be activated. That means the bubbles are gonna start to release, and while that's good, that is what you want eventually, we need the oil to be ready. If you add the water too soon, and they bubble and then they deflate, your fritters will be dense, they'll be heavy, they'll be oily. So just wait, it'll take 2 seconds later. Now we're gonna heat the oil. So you need about 2 inches of oil in your pot. I use a smaller pot because then I don't have to use as much oil. However, it does mean that the temperature can fluctuate a little easier, so keep your eye on the thermometer. That reminds me, you should have a deep frying thermometer. Candy thermometer will also work. This one does both, and it's labeled with little hints. At 375 is the goal. That's a good deep fry temperature where you won't end up with something too greasy, but it won't fry too fast so that the outside burns and the center stays undercooked. So I recommend it. Stick that right on your pot. Heat your oil to 375 degrees. I like to set up a little station when I deep fry. So I'll do a wire rack on top of a sheet tray. That way the excess oil can drip down and the sheet tray catches it. It's really easy to clean. And then I'll also have a little paper towel so that I can dab my fritters before I put them on the wire rack. Okay, my oil is ready. It's at 375. As I fry, it'll go to 360, maybe it'll go up to 380, but we want to keep it in that range. Add the water to the dry mixture. We're just stirring to make sure all of the powder gets coated with water. The batter should be slightly thick, but loose enough to coat the apples. Looks great. Okay, I'm ready to fry. I'm using my handy dandy spoon from my mom's house. So I love the spoon. It's just like the perfect shape for so many things I want to do, including scoop apple fritters. I think it's roughly 1/2 cup, maybe 1/3 cup, but that's how much batter it scoops up. Remember, once they hit the water, that leavening agent's gonna expand. So you don't wanna make them too big right away. Start a little smaller, make sure they cook through, and then if you think like, ooh, I want a little bit of a bigger fritter, add a little bit more batter. Fry each fritter for 1 minute per side. I like to set a timer. Seriously, a minute goes by fast, but you wanna make sure they cook all the way through. So I'll use my watch, maybe my phone, something you can reset easily and quickly because it's 1 minute per side. These look perfect. Repeat this for each fritter. Okay, my fritters just need time to cool. which is the perfect opportunity to make the icing. Can't have a fritter without icing. So this icing is super easy to make. It's only a few ingredients. Grab yourself a deep bowl, nothing too big. Add the powdered sugar to the bowl. Toss in a little salt and the vanilla extract. Add the water and stir. It's that simple. We're just trying to make a really thin glaze. It's just enough to coat the fritter. It's just a thin veil of crispy, sweet goodness. A 1/4 cup of water should be enough, but if you want to test the consistency, like the thickness, withhold a little bit of the water. I'll do it and show you what happens. The icing is runny here, but you can see that it kind of leaves a trail, leaves a little pattern, so it's a little thick. Let's see what happens when we add a fritter to it. So just stick the fritter right in there, use a spoon to kind of spoon it over like you're basting your fritter in icing. Okay, so you can see here that the layer is kind of thick, it's very opaque. So when I spoon the icing over, it's opaque. I can't see the fritter through this, really. Classic fritter has an icing that's kind of translucent. You can see the brown color of the donut through the icing. So let's thin it out a little bit. Okay, I just added a little bit more water and you can see how it changes the consistency. It's much more runny. It doesn't coat the spoon the same way. When I drizzle it like this, it just goes right back into a pool. That's good. We're gonna try to do another one. Okay, this is perfect. So I'm gonna scoop it out with a fork and let the excess icing just drip off a little bit here and move it to the cooling rack. Same cooling rack as before, just let it drip dry. Do the rest of your fritters. Okay, great, these are done. They look gorgeous. I must resist and let them dry for about 10 minutes until that icing gets a little bit of a crackle to it. There you have it, pancake mix apple fritters. The best and easiest apple fritters you're ever gonna make. And unfortunately, it means you're gonna be making them a lot more often. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. I'm Allie, thanks for stopping by. Subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.